Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm Dennis Sylstra and this is Getting in the Game. And today we're going to go over those gussets that hold the cabin frame to the empennage. Kind of important. There's one thing that I did I don't want you to have to go through and do. So I'll remark about that, and the rest of it we're going to get into how we'll put this in today and a couple other things that are pretty cool. So hey, stick around. Well, real quick before I install these, you might recognize this as the part that goes up here that attaches the cabin to the empennage. And they automatically sent me out new ones, and I really wanted to look them over and see why they changed it. But up there, the first 9 holes, this first row and this hole of rivets on the empennage are now, these were A5s and now they're A6s. So that's changed, and they did lengthen where the steel ones go in. Same amount of holes, just they started out about 3/8 of an inch more forward, and they cut a little bevel here on the back for wasted aluminum weight. Other than that, they line up. They're still 0.063 thicknesses each. And so if you have, see, the old one is LS75F4-3, and if you have SD75F4-3B, that's the new one. So if you could do me and the community a favor, if the Generation 6 is out and you've got it, and you just happen upon this video, please leave a remark in the bottom that the 6th generation's out. I may not find any other way, and I can update the video and let people know. This one is being made right now in April of 25. Thank you. While I was prepping this for primer, before I put this part on, I was thinking I had to upsize these, or not really upsize them, but just clearance drill them, because there's so many layers and the rivet doesn't want to go in at all. So I did that, and this is, if you want to prime to a hard line, that's awesome, but if you don't, you can also just build a tent too. When you want to stop, it creates a really nice edge instead of letting overspray go everywhere. There was a question in the last video about what I meant by the X on here. And what I mean is, I believe the datum line that this is exactly the same for center here to center down here. So this measurement could be narrower than down here. It could be kind of angled, but this would still hold true as long as it's symmetrical. If it's asymmetrical, which the center line could be off of the top and bottom, and I don't believe it is. I mean, I can go look it up, but pretty sure that this thing is supposed to be square, even though square means equal all the way around. But you just take a measurement from a known spot, and right there on that curve is probably one of the nicest ones, and down to a known spot, this corner down here, so that's 61 inches and 9/16, right to that edge. You got to be really exact, and this should be exactly the same unless it's racked. If the top was slightly over that way, then this measurement would be a lot longer, or 1/16 of an inch longer, and it is 61 and 9/16. And it doesn't matter, I could have picked this up here, but the further you go out, the more accurate it is. And now I'm very content to put those rivets in, because I know it isn't racked. If it were racked, you take the longest distance, and you could put a piece of string around that and a piece of string around something down here and just wind it. And you wouldn't believe that it wind it down here so that the stick could lay against something. But just that little bit of tension you put will pull the longer one shorter, and then just double check it. And when it's right on the money, that's when you rivet it off. One quick thing, somebody mentioned in one of my videos when I was talking about putting these in before you cleco it, because it goes in the wing easier, he said he was taught to dip each one in primer. That lubricant, when you got to go through several layers, I don't like to upsize or clearance drill if I don't have to. But boy, putting these in primer and dipping them in there, tapping them in, they went in so nice. And I believe they squeeze up better too. Or just smoother, they got lubricant. Boy, those A6s really squeeze up. That first one, I have all the clecos in there, a ton of them, but that first one, you could just see everything move quite a bit. See this little corner up here is pointed yet. I didn't round it enough. I'll have to round that. Hey, I got a good one for you. Make sure before you put this on that you check where that little rise is in the end there and radius this piece, the longeron, because that curve does bind. If you just cut it straight and file it straight, there's a point under there that's supposed to fit. I thought it was behind the curve, but when I got done riveting it, it was holding this corner up just a little. So I went and checked the other side and it was the same way. I'll try to show you what I did. I just took a flat file, I took the rivets back out, of course, lifted it slightly, took a really tiny file and rounded the corner. There is an angle here, it does step down. Well, this will push down. But when you go to push that down, make sure that that corner is rounded on the end of the longeron. I hope this makes a little more sense. This is the end of the longeron, and you just need to take this little piece off. You don't need to go down into this material at all. Just shave that off. So this is round. Get rid of that. Brian and I had a small conversation about putting this in and what we had to drill. Well, these were already the right size, the outside for a 4-bolt, but the shaft itself on the actuator had to be enlarged. And the only thing I could figure is about, the inside of it was about a 15/64. I could just about get it into the actuator. And the hole that needed to be put in there was 1/4 inch. So there really wasn't much shavings that come out of there. And it still looked really good. The beveled little edge they had in there was barely taken out. The beveled edge was still there once I drilled it. So got that sized up. These are the two measurements. As you can see, was 85 and 12 from the exact same spot. So I went out here to 97. I've got that set right now, I think at 96. So I got room to move it out. The only other thing I'm going to do is, it's waterproof here, and the wires go in waterproof, but there's a real kink moment right there because nothing's supported. So I'm going to cut a piece and heat shrink it over this rubber here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a drop of super glue in there because as it heats up, it's going to want to slide off. Well, that baby ain't going anywhere now. I like this jet, or the thin stuff. Boy, it really gets in places. Beautiful. I don't know if you noticed, but when it went through that, it got some grease on the threads. So from what I know, the torque values will change unless you clean that off. A little bit of thinner here. This kind of stuff really helps you with the rest of the build because you feel like you're getting some really major thing done. Goes 100 to 140, and I want to be somewhere right in the middle. So 120 plus drag is about 10. So I'll put it at 130. You know, I didn't grease that. It's going to be moving up and down. You can't see much from this angle, but I'll assure you, this is so much fun. Come on, Castle Nut, please start. That seems well perfect. I could wiggle it and see the nut move out and in and out on the thread or out on the washer. And I just did it till it stopped moving. Boy, that sure don't move much. That is complete. Cotter pin is in. It's lubed. All marked. I didn't put this way because I tried with this bracket on this, tried it every which way. I mean, that way with the bolt going this way and this way, then rotating it and the bolt going this way and this way. And this was the only way it would slide through. The other ways, for some reason, I would have had to upsize some things, and I didn't want to do that. So the bolt slid through this direction, so I put the nut on the other side, which I can clearly see through an inspection panel with a mirror. This is just clearing perfectly. It's a millimeter and a half away. Looks like the only adjustments I will have to do is when I put the center rods in, make sure that they're exactly 90 degrees to the top. And then the rods going up their lengths. And then, of course, the flaps won't be right, and I'll go through all that hell that everybody else goes through. But we'll see. Might as well start off as perfect as we can. So that's what it looks like from here. It's hard to see the back here. But I just snugged it down until it wouldn't rattle back and forth and put the pin in. And this, I already explained why it's that direction. One of the things I was trying to figure out was this is all the way back, pulling on it. That pushes these up right here, pulls this back, pushes this up, and that would put the ailerons in their up position, neutral, not down at all. So as this comes out, this starts to go down, but so do the flaps go down, which increases the air pressure of pushing up. So there's always pressure pushing against this. Maybe that's why they changed it from upside down, so it was always pulling on the motor. This way it's always pushing on this. The piece under here that looks fragile is being pushed on, not ever pulled. So, cool system. You know what the worst part of filming all this is? It's fun for you to get to see what's going on. It gives you something to think about before you do it, but I don't get to listen to my music, so that's the worst part. I get to turn my music back on. If you're putting the rear baggage shelf in the upper back, at the same time I'm test fitting everything. I just took the top L angle right here, and I just match drilled this to the roof by installing all this in the back. This one's all cleaned up, primed, and ready for the angles, but you'll notice when it's in there against the roof, there isn't room enough to get a rivet gun in there. So I'm going to put mine on ahead of time. I hate to put stuff together. Like I clecoed all this up and thought that I could get it in there by turning it and twisting it like you do a couch going upstairs, you know, and I just couldn't get it. So I'm gonna put it in there in parts, parts. Hey, good news. I was able to put all these on. And this corner rolled up just enough to sneak it in. So a little less farting around. I wish I could put those whole side braces on, but that doesn't let it twist a little, and it doesn't it makes it much longer, so it won't fit in there. Today I did the hatch because I had it ready, so I didn't waste as much primer. The only bad thing is I'm not getting to know the gun and the product as good as I thought I would by now. And I got a little bit going on right here, but at least there's a piece that goes over that. And I can sand off the little high humps. Okay, the next step is to put these side brackets in, and they don't have to be primed because you can't see them. They just have to, white primed. Well, I think this part is important. I don't see any other way of doing it. So I'm going to cleco this in, but not all the way up. I'm going to let the bottom go towards the back of the plane a little. And I'm going to take this top hole just to hold it there and let that hang down. The reason for this is that top corner rivet. I don't think I can reach it. So this will hang it at the, you got to match it over here exact to the same hole so it'll be square. Now a guy probably could have built all this stuff and stuck this all in before this. Okay, so they're sitting in there, and that's about 3 inches from the top. Now these are all A4s. Now this is that little bend twisty thing I was telling you about. I better empty my hands. Put it on a great angle, stick it all the way I can to that side, and down here in this corner is where it barely makes it. Just that little bit did it. Yay, it's in. Now we can see if we can cleco these up. Well, I got one in. That's a good sign. Yeah, that one's in. And I have to admit, back when I was doing this, I honestly thought that this whole unit would go in there a little sideways and make it, but I was wrong. Okay, step 2, uncleco it and see if we can rise it up and get it up in its position and re-clecoed. Well, that wasn't bad. Shows you how good Zenith builds things, because those holes lined right up. Well, now I can see them. It just took 2. Watch these not fit. I think the first ones I'll put in will be the top. Just want to see if it fits that panel. I don't even have to cleco it. I just put light pressure on that and it's all fitting right up. So I hope these work out where I can reach in to the end here. I will leave this in as it goes because hopefully you'll learn from my mistakes. I was just cruising along and I put these in, but I didn't get the gusset in there. And then I looked at the paper and realized these have to be up drilled and these got to be match drilled to the longeron. So don't do what I do. I didn't get the other side done, so that's cool. I have to admit, the heat gun came in awfully handy this time around. Okay, I put just a little bit of wedge in here to open it up and clecoing where the longeron goes, and I can get my 4 rivets put back in. One other thing you got to know is take this little walk with me. Look at it out here. If I get this done, I can go out here and get hay fever. It's actually a little cool, but It's been so windy this spring. We've had wind advisory after wind advisory. But I'm not complaining today. It is beautiful out here. Rototilled the garden yesterday. Now I got to get back to this because I really want to get this done. Quick review. That's all on now. Got some more rivets to put on the other side. That thing fit in beautiful. So if you're going to do it my style, it does work. I probably, if you don't need to go back there for any reason, I would probably get that done ahead of time, completely built and slide it in there. Do it however you like, but that's what I prefer. I'm so glad that I've tested that and it works great. I'm happy with everything that went on it. So work on this another day. Today's Jan's birthday, so that's going to be fun tonight when she gets home from work. So, hey, thanks a lot for coming along. If you liked it, please like it. We're going to try to give you any little weird details like mistakes like this and in the future. So if you're interested in taking a glance at how the CruZer goes together step by step, that's pretty much what we're going to do. So, hey, thanks again for coming along. We'll see you in the next one.